Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good afternoon and welcome to Repo Rethink Politics, where we circle the globe and local issues with politics and rethink really how our input and injection will be part of the mainstream topics. I have my two co-hosts here, and one I have EZ from New Jersey with the Northeastern. What's going on,
Yes, sir. Yo, I'm exhausted right now. Just finished shoveling up a damn sidewalk driveway.
Yeah.
Just for the 6-7 time. This man.
just use that word upteeth and shit.
Yeah. 3 months straight.
Madness. And Chaz, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just chilling. I'm cutting out the booze, so I'm doing this one boozeless.
Boozeless. I already had mine, and I just left the bottle to chill, so I'm good.
Okay.
But
Damn. Let me put mine down.
I know you can put it. I can reach over, but I'm gonna be steady as we go. So wanted to get in this week because there was just so much madness going on, and we wanted to jump in and have our discussion. And I know you biting at the chomp, as they say. So Chaz, what is the
what's the big one?
Throw us in there. Just
we
throw us in.
we gotta talk about Austin. Like, y'all remember back in the day, Eric Rudolph, the Oklahoma guy?
Yeah.
Like, when did
the
bombs?
Unabomber? Fucking Unabomber. Yep.
So bombs are fashionable again? Like, this motherfucker literally had bombs around the city of Austin. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
And why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, bro, I don't know the story. His identity just came out earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that was just like the eye popping. And again, just the contrast of, yes, we have ISIS. Yes, we have, other, Chinese espionage, Russian interference. There's a lot of threats, but obviously this kind of reaffirmed the homegrown terrorism radicalization issue.
Right. And we
you
just came out of the gun issues.
Exactly.
But now we have people making bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And with no rhyme or reason, because they really didn't get any data to say
like
what
Texas.
was his purpose, just being in Texas and making bombs.
Because Austin is, has the reputation of being weird and hipster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, it could be like someone took my job, but he was a young dude,
23.
So I don't know what job would have been taken.
So
I don't think
he was into computers. He did like computer repairs or something like that.
So I mean, I don't think it was a job loss.
Right.
Oh, go ahead.
So E, what's your thought on that? Because I was really fucking confused with this, because I'm kind of like, it was so random, but it was only in a city. It's not like he was going outside in any other places of Texas. So I was trying to put some rationalization, but when you blowing up shit, there's no rationale in it. But what's up, man?
I mean, I was trying to figure out what the motive was, honestly. I mean, because it just seemed at first, when I first heard about it, I just actually finished watching, a little while ago, watching that Netflix, the Unabomber.
Wow.
That Netflix show. I'm trying to see if he's like a copycat or something like that. But then, find out he was only 23. But then again, copycats can be at any age.
Right.
But it just felt weird. And then, actually, I thought it would be longer, and then they hunted him down. I mean, I honestly don't even know the backstory on.
But I don't think they did.
Why he actually did it and how long it actually was going on, or the plan that he had, or if he had a plan. Maybe it was just random or something. I don't know.
But he wind up.
What do you guys know about that?
fucking blowing himself up. So that was kind of crazy too,
right?
Because they cornered him.
That was when the SWAT team, the SWAT team went after him, and and he blew himself up. But I mean, was that intentional, or did they do some, blew up?
I don't think this was a Christopher Dorner thing where the motherfucker was in the house, and it was like the house is on fire. How'd it get on fire? Because we threw the fucking like the flashbang thing or whatever, to smoke them out. No, I think in this case, dude had, like, I read a story. You had the explosives or some shit, like they had to remove shit from his house. So it was like this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? And Mike, you mentioned the gun thing earlier. I didn't know where this fits in the discussion, but there was at least one more shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Maryland, Baltimore area,
so he
or
went
something
in
like that.
He shot the one girl and he shot someone else, but then the hero, which was the only guard in the school, shot him dead. You know, so we going with the hero thing as opposed to the coward who ran. So we got one extreme to the other extreme. Either you're a coward or you're a hero. You know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's in between bombs and mass shootings. It's like what?
So there's no guarantee.
And again, well, I'm just thinking, like, again, we talked about this last time, but just being like in my teens or early 20s is like want to hang with friends, go out. You want to party, and then I'm just. It's just very hard for me to be like, okay, like what. Why? It's hard for me to relate to a guy that says, I want to take life.
On
how do you get to that point?
From creating a bomb for mass destruction to having guns to pinpoint people directly. To take a life when you're looking at them, that's really some deep-seated shit, dude.
That's hard. Yeah,
I'm glad you started with that because the segue I wanted to get into is they had a interview with the FBI chief, Ray.
Which one?
Ray. Oh, the last one. No, the current one. Put it that way. And he was saying there's been 300 plus credible terrorist activity over the last year. Some with ISIS, some with, certain other things. And and he says a high percentage of homegrown people who's, I'm paraphrasing, but he was basically saying there's a lot of them motherfuckers that are credible that's getting ready to do things that we have to be monitoring. So he finally at least admitted that, there's some shit going on here.
Admitted or mentioned.
Yeah, there's some
and we got to look at it.
Could you imagine? Yeah. Could you imagine being on the news?
He need to be careful though.
Like you on the news, like there's some shit going on. Yeah. We gotta watch those. Watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, but like, there's a correlation of the changing of policy. And I'm not gonna even say government, but I'm gonna say policy, because policy is breaking up the fact that you can say what you want, or you're taking away liberties from some people as opposed to other people. And you got a leader that says, hey, look, I can say what I want, and, y'all not going to do anything about it. For people who say, I'm just fed up with this, I'm going to go, I'm going to grab my gun because that's my constitutional right. I don't think the Second Amendment said bomb, though. So I got to look that up again because I might have missed that. But
Well, I always thought that argument was, the whole Second Amendment was in case the government tried to overthrow, you and your home, so you can fight back, and we can. I don't know. It was the old school shit when the government wasn't as powerful as it is now. I mean, now it's laughable to even consider that's the reason why you have a gun, so you can shoot down a stealth fighter. Like, what are you talking about? A drone, you don't even see the shit coming. It's
air to air.
Yes,
I can buy it now. So the government comes after me.
Right. So, honestly, when when because I think I read that
Yeah.
because I rely on Twitter, but anyway, when when he when the director said that, or the chief of the FBI said that, it honestly isn't a surprise that we got these homegrown terrorists that are just. Is it even terrorists if it's homegrown? Well, I guess it's
so. Remember the word terrorist.
But
they're putting terror on people to be afraid, and that's the intent. But they didn't want to use that word because if you say that means you equate them to ISIS and everything.
I mean, shit. And again, just being close to, being close to the MLK Center here in Atlanta. I'm just reminded of all those things, and who can forget the story? I don't think it was in Atlanta, of course, but I think Bama, where it was in Bama where the church got blown up and the little girls got killed. I mean, Birmingham. Isn't that not terror? That's terror. You know what I'm saying? You're just being like, fuck you and what you stand for. I'm gonna blow your shit up.
But we're in an era of terrorists being Muslim. So you can't. They don't want to use that narrative to say our terrorists are equal to their terrorists. So we can't call our homegrown people terrorists because then it becomes equal. So their crimes are equal to our crimes.
You know what? I mean, I just from a national security, like if I'm in the intelligence community. I gotta be like the FBI guy. I gotta be like, we have these threats and say that just because they're gonna take the bullshit going on in the United States, ISIS people, gonna make propaganda being like, look, they blowing, they call us this, they call us, insurgents, they call us that, but they're doing the same shit. Join our fight. Like all that's gonna do is feed into what they're doing, So again, having that moral high ground, being the better of of these people, that has a real soft power. And when you don't do it, and when you allow people to get radicalized, you lose that moral argument, in my opinion.
But look at it. Go ahead.
But then well, I mean, my concern is, and I got to bring it to this. I'm trying to figure out what the trends are when you have these homegrown terrorists. Look, I'm just gonna, the elephant in the room is a lot of white dudes
angry
out here, just mad at the world. Some of them are like mad because they, I don't know, they were coal mining or their job will end up ending because it's 2018, or 21st century. They're living in the history. You got some on drugs, and some have real mental issues. And then they're listening to Trump. I don't even think all of them are listening to Trump, and that's why they do it. I think some just finally have the balls to do it because you got so much
anger.
You got a bully. And anger just all around on TV is just like, hell yeah, like I can shoot somebody and get away with it. They're like, hell yeah, I could do the same thing.
I do have one question.
It makes it a lot easier.
I have a question about the environment, like to E's point, because I'm thinking about like Iraq, like before, like you had Saddam, then after Saddam. So we had Bush, Obama, and now Trump. Like, why do you think? I mean, is it just age? Like the people who are doing this shit now were just too young. They were like kids when Bush was in office. Because I mean, Bush he's a Republican, white guy, but people just had like content with him. But I mean, Trump is a Republican white guy, quote unquote. I was saying, like, is it just the rhetoric? Like, what's the difference in terms of the tone? Because I don't necessarily remember. Obviously, there's the post 9/11 shit with the Muslims, but like in general,
So
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Opinion-wise, I think it's not politics. It's the straight talker guy. You know what I mean? So when the straight talker guy keeps pointing out anything that's going wrong to you, middle America, to you, middle-aged white man, young white man, or older white man, it's not your fault. It's because what those guys did to you that took your jobs away. It's the people that when you walk out the street and they're working and you're not, that's not your fault. And they're trying to take your guns away. So that anger has just been built up on rhetoric, not politics. When Bush was there, we can call him an idiot as much as we want to, but he had politics that and policy and stuff that he went through in order to take away jobs, in order to use the military to gain power and with the people who's over there making money off of stuff, because the wars was based off making money. It wasn't about, freedom or whatever like that. But in this case, everything here is an opinion of the world is fucked up and we need to be by ourselves. Let's circle the wagons. And if people are here that don't look like you, we need to get them out. So that's being pent up. And especially when you don't have a job.
But my issue with that is these motherfuckers are just shooting other people like them.
So
it's like some random shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's mental shit though. And,
okay.
And there's a crack. So, you're right.
Not all of them.
You're right next to New York, right across the bridge there, E. And the mental people who have these mental issues that either in jail or on the streets because they don't have hospitals anymore. And they don't hospitalize them and they don't treat them anymore. They either treat them as criminals or say they're homeless. And then when you put them in that bundle of homelessness, you don't take in consideration there's mental issues of them. Then you got people who just have mental issues who can't afford medication or, any kind of treatment, and they're just living amongst us. And you can see them every day and be like, that dude crazy as a motherfucker. That may sound funny, but they're truly at a disadvantage because of some mental issues. So I think it's a combination of all of that. There's no one smoking gun. And a lot of people try to put that into like a pocket to say, this is where the issue is. No, it's a combination of everything. And it's easier to see because everything is being reported.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
So I can't help but just think that it's just a lot of white men that just feel empowered, man. That's just the trend that they're not terrorists. There's nothing to be afraid of. They're just going through some troubles. Their mom, left them out there and they're orphans and they had some mental issues and their brother and them got into a fight. And it's like, I don't give a fuck about all that. They just shot up 17 kids at high school, and they, I don't care how old this dude is in Texas. Like, well, I mean, I guess maybe I need to know that, but like I should be hearing Trump be like, we got these kids out here, wilding out or whatever he talks like. I don't hear shit from him whenever it's like that, or shooting up churches. I don't hear the outrage when it happens. I hear it before, and then I hear it, when it dies down after. You hear all the tough talk. Then
I will say, based on the narrative, again, if this was a Muslim thing, but as black people tend to be more sensitive and skeptical of the news. Like, oh, if it was a black guy who did this, blah blah blah.
Because that's what we wait on.
Yeah, versus if it's a white guy, then it's
there's a sense of relief.
It's just like, well, not even that. Just the reporting is, I can't believe he did that. Such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Oh, he was. Yeah, I get pissed when I hear like oh yeah, so and so he was my neighbor. He's a great guy. I never understood why. I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, what are you talking about? They need to cut him off.
Right. No. This is black guy. So and so came from a rough home. So and so's parents used to smoke crack.
Yep.
Or not even that. Let's make it simpler than that. The simple answers that you normally hear is, we don't know why these criminals are out here doing these things to hurt our society. And they could have came from a good home or whatever like that, where they would say the same thing they did if it was a white child.
Yeah.
But they criminalize the actual dialogue when it comes out, you only hear the negative about it. They never want to find, wow, he came from a good home. I don't understand. They dig in and say, well, 10 years ago, he was caught with 4 guys that had crack.
Right.
He was caught with 4 guys who had crack, but he was the 4th guy walking down the goddamn street, and the police gathered everybody together. But they had to find something to criminalize an African American, whereby it's mental. It's a mental issue that we really need to start funding. But he says that, meaning Trump. He says that, but he took money from the medical, from state-ran medical to actually help for that.
Yeah.
But he can talk about it all day long because people are ignorant.
He did that with Obama, right? It was that.
Yep.
That I don't know what it was. It was some bill or law or something that he was trying to pass, or it was like the first week or that first month he just went into office, just completely just got rid of it. It didn't make any sense. And then he went back. That's how Trump worked. He does that every single time though. He kind of just counters everything that he argues. So none of it really even makes sense what he does anyway. So
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so Billy Bush said, I was just listening to him on Bill Maher, and he said the one thing that disturbed him a lot when he was trying to tell him, your show isn't number one. You need to stop saying that. You haven't been number one for 5 years. And, once the cameras is off, he told him, look, you need to stop saying that. All I have to do is tell people that and they'll believe me. So don't question me. If you tell them, they'll believe you. And he's doing it now. As long as he says things are fine, it's okay. And he believes it. That's the worst thing.
So we gotta. Can we? I want to segue into a Trump thing.
Go ahead.
With Putin, this was like a big story, or at least the details came out.
Yeah.
So
Which one?
Apparently Trump called Putin and congratulated him about winning the election.
Yep.
And there was a note,
a memo.
or notes memo on the in the vicinity. And it's like his internal advising memo, some shit like that, like sensitive information on it in bold, big letters. It says,
big ass letters.
Do not congratulate him.
Do not congratulate.
Now it was leaked to the press
that post.
That he congratulated him anyway. And the sense was someone did that, just they snitched on him just to be like, this Trump guy is just Russia is wilding right now. Don't
congratulate him. So you got to put in this part. Did you see the fact that when they had people over in Russia, they was stuffing ballots. They show pictures of them fucking doing it. I was like, are you kidding me?
I mean, if you're competition in Russia, you might get killed, low key. Yeah. Like political opponents get exiled or dead.
So Putin said in the interview, if you speak poison, be aware the poison you speak, you may swallow. And it was like, does this guy just say he poisoned them? And he just gives a slight grin like, you can't fucking do anything to me.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just kind of like, that's kind of the situation that you're dealing with. And your nationals, your team is like, look, this Russia shit, we got to figure out, It's kind of like, and again, what he said, just trying to counter or reverse everything Obama did. The Obama administration did not have a great relationship with Russia.
Yeah.
For the same shit. Like Russia's just wilding. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you just want to come in and be, all hunky dory, and it's like there's a reason why the relationship was not good, on both sides. They they have shit about us they didn't like. We have shit about them we didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, in the past, it was pretty much obvious. All the shit that you hear right now from the poisoning of what was it, the that
That
in the UK.
in the UK,
They
him and his
poisoned
daughter.
some former
the agents.
Russian agents.
Yeah, spies.
Yeah, you don't do
Yeah.
that shit. Not on somebody else's soil. You know,
Mhm.
that's like you starting a war when you're doing some shit like that. So that's
Mhm.
also partially why Trump shouldn't have congratulated him. Actually, I'll take it further. He should have condemned him.
Condemned,
He should have
yeah.
said something like, "Yo, like,
Yeah.
like that's not
Can
that's
you
not
not-
cool." But see,
Can you
that's the
not
kind
poison
of
us,
shit.
please?
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what you did? Like, don't ever do that shit again. Like, that's the shit that Obama
Mhm.
used to do. Like, he used to be like, hey,
No.
can you
Kill
not,
fucking people.
hack our elections, or cut it out, or whatever he said.
No.
Like,
No, yo, Marquez.
that's the kind of shit that Trump's not doing, man. And I think what's slowly happening too is that it's starting to become weird because it's building up more and more. It's almost like Russia's getting like a little more
Cocky. Yep.
yeah.
Cocky, arrogant.
And it's just because it's the
because
US.
the experiment, like, look, think about it. Think about it. If you're Russia, and it's kind of like, I don't even have to do an analogy on that level. If you're a rich person and you buy, you fund an election, and you're like, all right, can I get this motherfucker to change this law? Oh shit, cool. Can I do that? Boom, boom. Okay, that means our corporation can do whatever we want because we've seen time and time again,
Right.
we kind of have an idea of the responses.
Yeah.
And, it's gonna, let's do what we can until this it's gonna culminate with this investigation shit. And whatever all these lawsuits, all the turnover, all this shit, until that resolves itself, they kind of have really a pass to, until the rest of the world is like, I don't know what the United States is doing, but again, we talked about this last time. The rest of the world goes about it alone without the U.S., then that's more power.
Because there's nobody else that can really check them other than like China. And I get this.
But China is like, shit, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they're going to sit back and say, yeah, as long as Russia doesn't fuck with us, then we're just going to sit back and...
So, and that was the thing, because so much fucking went on, bro. That's why Tillerson was goddamn fired, because he spoke up and said, no, this shit is wrong. And we need to, get the diplomats or the Russian people out of our country. And he said something in regards to that. And it was like a day later, they fucking fired him.
But I
on the toilet.
Yo, on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter.
Apparently, he was on the toilet when he found out.
No, they said, Kelly fucking called him. He's like, oh, are you sitting down? He said, yeah. But he was in the toilet and shit, yeah.
All right, yeah. Rex Tillerson wanted to, not really fund, or he wanted to cut back on State Department. And all the financial people, all the deficit hawks, which, again, this deficit is going to increase under the tax plan, by the way. But all the deficit people are like, oh, fuck the State Department, fuck all these agencies. And then, you see how important this shit is. Only in peace times, people want to question shit. But as tensions rise, that's when you see how important it is to have budgets and staffing for these kind of things, just to...
Yeah.
You need these relationships. You need the boots on the ground to keep shit before it gets to a boiling point.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely understaffed. I mean, you have to understand, just like the FBI, just like some of these other agencies.
True.
You need you need a team that's like dedicated, and they had people where they've been part of the State Department for decades. They built those relationships over time. Like you should want to keep some of your predecessors, the Obama's people.
I forgot about that.
Keep some of those relationships.
Yeah, they all were told to leave their post, right?
Some of them were at least at leadership, and then others were just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Because he's creating these different ways on how you need to build up relationships on foreign policy and these international relationships, and a lot of people were just like, I don't like what's going on, and then they stepped down. That's the kind of shit that we saw all 2017 anyway. You know,
True.
people just leaving because they don't want to be a
deal
part
with
of this administration.
Mm.
So it's only getting worse now if you just
But
get
with
rid of Tillerson.
McCabe, so
Yeah.
that was the other segue to McCabe. So this guy said months ago that this is some bullshit,
Yeah.
and don't worry, I'll be gone. I'm gonna retire in March,
I'm
and
out.
you don't have to worry about me. Fucking go ahead.
But what I love that motherfucker kept notes
Yup.
and immediately turned them over to Mueller. Like he did the same shit James Comey did. So that means
But-
he was in
but
communication with James
they
Comey,
won.
or they just all had a strategy. Like if you got rid of James Comey, I can only guess what you're gonna do to me. So I'm curious what those notes say and how Mueller. First of all, Mueller, boy, we was talking shit about him a couple months ago.
Yeah, he
The
turned it up.
motherfuckers, he
Fucking turn up.
ramped the fuck up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But
Yeah,
2
like,
days,
damn.
bro. So that's retaliation. You can't tell me that fucking wasn't. 2 days before he can get his fucking pension. And they said,
Oh, definitely.
Fine.
Definitely.
And he had this whole fucking dissertation that he wrote about that shit. And said, don't worry. He said, fucking don't worry.
Yeah, it's just it's a dumb move. It looks suspicious. I don't like if I'm a lawyer for Trump. I mean, I guess that's part of it. He's like, oh, if he's fired, then that means he's discredited. But you can on the other side, if you try to play that angle, you can just be like, well, they clearly retaliated. You know, why didn't they fire me months ago? If they felt that way, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was incompetent on the Saturday? Like, what the fuck?
Right. That weekend
You know what I'm
shit.
saying? It's just, it doesn't, yeah, like on Friday, like, I think on Ice Cube on Friday, like, you got fired from your job? You wasn't there? Yeah, it's like, man, my day off, yeah. Man, I was on tape. So it's like, so I don't, it's just, and again, we talked about this before. Yeah. Like sometimes it's just dumb. Like, and Trump says some shit, and it's like, bro, you contradicting yourself.
Who that?
This is illegal. It's like, why would you? Why? You know?
What's messed up is that Trump actually said that they should go ahead and just get rid of him before he gets his pension. I think he even tweeted it. I don't know if it was a quote or if he tweeted it. But he already said that, so if they wanted to bring this to court, like I feel like
that's a layup. Yeah,
yeah, they just made that an easy win, you know, and
like
just made the shit worse.
Like what I'm saying is, you don't even need power lawyers.
Yep.
Just get some motherfucker fresh out of law school. You gonna win the court case. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shit, I could be in there. Your Honor is clearly.
I'm gonna have to agree with you.
I think you're right. Matter of fact, show me the quote. Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's like,
Here it is, Your Honor. Here it is.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn.
Line 47, Your Honor. This right here.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Oh, we don't even need a witness. We just said it himself.
I could throw the book, you know. Just
like shit. You could do a court case in between a layover.
So back to Mueller though. So he's just subpoenaed Trump's personal business records.
The Trump organization, right?
Yeah. So his organization business records, his financials. He subpoenaed those. So that's why he said, I need to fire this motherfucker because he can't see this. And then the Congress is like, look, man, you crazy as fuck, but don't do this. If anything, don't do this. And he's like, they got 2 more new lawyers, and they was like, look, we got to find a way before we turn his shit in.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because you constantly hearing these people like saying, well, give him a chance. Hey, you know, he's doing some good things. And all of this shit is right in front of your face. Mm-hmm. And it's becoming normal. Yeah. And that's the problem. It's becoming
I don't know though.
Normal.
This is not normal. This is like this. I mean, so on the flip side of it, if it was normal, I don't think we would see Democrats win in these crazy, Republican strongholds.
True. What's the dude? from Pennsylvania.
The Pennsylvania guy. You know what I'm saying?
Like
and
Mary Hatch.
so I'm just kind of like, yeah, I would disagree and just say, you know, people are like, what the fuck, as you know, at home.
yeah. No, when I'm saying normal is like next week we're gonna find out he's gonna fire Sessions and put somebody else in. So I figure he'll do that. It's just you know he's just gonna do these things. Does it make it right?
Like,
fuck no. Should we get him out? Hell yeah. Should we vote him out? Yes. But it's normal because these things is gonna happen because this is what he does. It's not a surprise and it's not shocking because he's just doing the most ignorant thing to our country. It's not his administration, it's our administration. And that's what people still forgetting, that this is our government that he's doing it to. It's not his administration that he's restructuring. It's fucking ours.
Kinda. Yeah, yes. I mean, but people are disconnected from government. Like the shit in China, like last week or the week before, it was like the little video that went viral of the reporter who rolled her eyes.
And they loved it.
You know, and it was just kind of like the people, that shit's, you know, people shared the video, they searched the reporter's name like crazy, but, you know, the centralized government, they blocked her name from showing up in search results. Like, it was, you know, the government went out the way to control it, but the people, they loved it. So I'm always kind of reluctant to say how much or how little a government reflects the people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it should. That's kind of the question. Should the government reflect the people? Because in a democracy, it definitely should. You know, like you want people to be reflected.
I mean, that's kind of the question.
Somewhere in your leadership.
That's the question. I mean, more than likely, Hillary would have won, but you have interference and a lot of, you know, it's just, that's kind of like the thing. It's like, should it? Yes, but why? If it doesn't, then why? And usually it's because of some bullshit going on.
Well, then we could probably segue to what the fuck is going on with this data. Facebook. That's a huge story. That's a huge story. That shit right there, like that's huge.
First of all, that's a privacy thing. That's a government thing. It decreases the credibility of Trump's win. Like, don't, you know, like,
of social media. Period. Yeah. I mean, everyone. I mean, you should be paranoid. Let me take a step back. If you are paranoid about social media and about that,
well, first of all, can you just explain the situation overall? Let's say I don't know about it.
Okay, so all right, so I'm still trying to wrap my brain around everything, but okay, so
we'll help you out.
So there's a yes. So there was a company.
Cambridge
help me out.
Analytica.
Cambridge Analytica.
Cambridge Analytica. Right. Yeah.
So what they did is they okay, so I'll just kind of paraphrase and summarize what happened. So what they did is, I think it was in about 2015. I think they started doing, they started gathering information about users. What they did is they started gathering social media data from Facebook. So what they did is they started doing these polls on Facebook, right? And when users on Facebook would answer these polls, they end up agreeing to basically how that app or whoever's given that poll will be able to pull their personal information or their personal data on their Facebook. But what they didn't realize is every time they answered the polls or they accepted, they were pulling 300, it's about average, 300 of that user's friends or whoever they're connected to. So for each user, and you could just do the math, it was 300 per. So you can multiply that, and what ended up happening is they had up to 50 million profiles of people, to the point that they can essentially find out 50 million types of people in the U.S. I don't even think it's just the U.S. I think it was just the Facebook community or in general. So I mean, so what they did is what Cambridge Analytica was able to do. Because I can go even deeper, but I don't want to lose everybody's attention. So what they did is they wanted to step away from relying on polls. They wanted to understand user profiles, or what in my work, when I do UX design work, you want to create user personas. You want to understand the personalities and gain a profile of, okay, so if somebody likes, let's just say, Wu-Tang Clan, right? If this person likes Wu-Tang Clan, there's a it's likely that they're male and they're heterosexual. So they know for a fact that they can aim this advertisement at this kind of user group, and then they can gather another kind of user profile and figure out where they are. So if they're in Pennsylvania, boom, let's just throw these ads this way, and just multiply that. If this person likes the Chicago Bears, they know, again, it's probably a male, likely a white male. He probably likely drives this kind of car. I'm just throwing a profile out there. Again, 50 million profiles, So it's not always just a specific person. It's understanding the mindset, the persona of somebody. And it's scary because you have to understand that you don't necessarily change the next day or the next year. This is your persona. This is who you are. So it's not like you could just delete your data on Facebook or any other social media and then you're good. They already know who you are. They already know your trends. They know what you like. They're watching your likes. So they already understand what kind of post you like. And this is what Cambridge Analytica did. It pulled all this data. It said, fuck polls, because that's why the polls were wrong in the elections, by the way.
Ain't that crazy?
They just used that data. And they sold that shit, and Trump's team used that. They used it against us and said, and then in a way, you kind of can't argue it because it's out there. So the argument really is, how was that data so easily, obtainable, right? From for certain types of organizations, people's business companies.
But
they're selling information.
That's because they wanted the money.
Yeah.
These ads and everything that they put on there, they got money for it. So even though they was grabbing data and collecting data on your friends and everyone else, and then collecting their personalities, as long as Facebook got the money to compete with the big heads like the Apples and the Googles, Facebook just wanted to be that billion-dollar industry, and whatever way they can be there, they allowed it to happen. But I want to swing with what you said too, which was really important that I really missed until you just said it. Was we were fooled because we was looking at the polls. The Trump team took illegal data, because this wasn't true data that people freely gave to them. Only certain individuals, they got it, but they took a combination of illegal data and used that data to do whatever they want with it. But they took illegal data. Did it make them win? You never know. But they used illegal data. But yeah, of course. Because again, if we're looking at polls, we're relaxed. We're not really pushing to do anything, because they know what we're really going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they know our personalities. And if they know these personalities, those black guys, they're not going to change. But I tell you what, we got 30,000 black people over here who are unsure because they don't feel a woman should be in charge. Let's center on them.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's their personality. Not what the fucking polls say. The polls say 90% of black people are voting for Hillary Clinton, but they forgot to take in consideration those personalities that are black people who won't vote for her. And that's where it got so, she got the popular vote, but they got the districts that they wanted. And I didn't think about that. Like, fuck. But the polls were clear. The polls don't mean shit if you really know what the people are actually feeling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, Chaz. I mean, I had that, and it's just that was like enlightening. I was like, fuck, that's absolutely right.
No, man, that's a brilliant point. The only thing that I feel like, just looking back, I'm like, okay, at least I stopped using Facebook, and I still have it, of course, for family and whatnot. Or if you travel, sometimes Facebook Messenger comes in handy. Otherwise, I'm think I want to just say what?
That's the one. That's the one that they always
Oh my
say
God.
that, like, is listening to you.
No,
And it's
I
like-
turn off. No, I turn off all permissions with Facebook. Yeah, with Facebook,
Oh, okay.
go on your phone and turn off default permissions. I know.
Oh, no.
But what I do is just I'm
I
to the
know.
point now where I want to delete all, like, a lot of pictures, basically purge likes. I don't want to like anything and just kind of have a very stale.
You don't have to.
Go ahead.
Hold on, just to jump in, you don't have to do that because
They already know.
there's I think they already have like a it's like a heat sensing like for instance on Instagram, they know how long you're looking at a particular ad or person when you're scrolling, so they'll know you're on hit this one for a certain number of seconds. I only know that because this is what I do. There's technologies on doing it. I'm 100% sure, or 99% sure, that these $1 million companies are doing that. We don't do that. I'm just saying in terms of the average developer, the average software development. But that's what these newer social media ones are doing. Just to throw it out there, you don't have to like.
In terms of beating the system, I mean, so you're saying even if I do a purge, if I'm still using it and looking at things, I'm still getting measured. My data is still being collected.
Because they already have your history, and even if you delete it, they already took that. So whatever you're doing new, they still could say, "Oh, well, he didn't like this anymore," but his previous data said he liked this for the last 3 years. Where is he going now?
Yep. Keywords. Yep. Or he's been on that picture for 5 seconds longer than that.
He's really watching
picture.
those
What's
big
that
movies
one that he's
a lot longer.
He loves football. Yeah. Does he really like snow more? That's weird. Why was he like snow?
And that's kind of that's also what I'm saying too. Like, I just like I haven't really done it much, but sometimes I may do something arbitrary just to throw them off. Like, just
I'm smarter than a computer.
You gotta do it every day.
Just like
hey,
I like the Reading Rainbow now. I like
be careful.
Be careful.
I like
Children are fun.
I like I'm trying to think of some,
FBI
I'm trying to think of some just random horse shit. Like, I like lamps. You know what I'm saying? And toilet bowl cleaner. Just
light bulbs.
Yeah. Just to fuck with them a little bit.
But you
I
gotta
like
show
rugs.
consistency. Because the pattern picks up the consistency.
I'm not.
Yeah,
It
that's an
doesn't
average
stay
thing.
random like that. Because you can have
I'm not that married
50,
to it.
50 random shits, but if they're gonna only pull out the ones that relates to historic data to say, yep. So he played around with them 49 things, but really, this is what he's really looking at.
Right. That just falls in the sometimes category.
Yeah,
That's all it is. The random, like, we can get him on in March. At the end of March, he likes this kind of thing.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you're an active user and you use the shit in search terms in Facebook, then that means that these people had the data that they needed.
Yep.
Pretty much. Well, okay, so let me take a step back. So the data that, this is a new story from this podcast, so the data that companies like Cambridge Analytica had is mostly based off of likes and your personal data. So everything was based off of trends. So Facebook has all that other information. It's just how much do they give out. But with Cambridge Analytica, and that's just only one of the companies, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones that have done similar things. They just kind of pull out trends based off of your likes, based off of your personal data, and they did it on a higher scale where they sent out polls. They said, did you like this post or did you like that post? You know, and if so, why? And then you might have even done one over the past 2 years, maybe once or maybe twice, but it didn't matter. All they needed was just at least one of you, and that's how they multiply it to the point that they just, now they know, they don't necessarily just know you, you know, Chaz, they don't know you, they know people like you, because there's probably, you know, 1,000 like you, or at least they have a similar personality, not just where you are, but maybe someone else in Seattle, and they know how to, you know, get, you know, what's the word? They prey on your not something. Okay, well, actually, let me just take a step back, because also I read an article. It was on the New York Times. It said that the average ads that they did were they based it off of your fear.
Wow.
So they preyed on your fear. Yeah. So most of it was just trying to get you to respond in some kind of way. And a lot of those got likes. You know, it was rare that you had something that was like a feel-good kind of advertisement that they use. So that's the scary part.
But that's a motivating factor, and that started big time during the Bush era, because the Rumsfelds, the Cheneys, they threw everything out, not positive, but fear that they're going to come over here to get us. So give us the money to fight them there so they don't have to fight us here.
Okay, so without your Facebook, right? That's what I'm saying. So your Facebook, what do you do now?
So, you know, he's going up to talk to Congress and the Parliament. The UK said, your ass is going to come over here too, because obviously you fucked us over. That's probably what happened with Brexit, and why these stupid idiots didn't understand what that's going to actually happen. So they're really pissed at Facebook. So what does he do? He was steering the ship, and really he was just stacking money, because he was like, I have nothing to do with that. This is what people choose to do. No, dude, you're regulating the social media platform.
So guns, it's a gun argument, a gun manufacturer. Well, I put the guns out there, but, you know, some people hunt, some people go to target practice. I can't be responsible if people murder each other. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Well, no, it's more like I produce. No. Okay, I see what you're saying. Because he's not. The information is everyone else's. So just like the guns.
Yeah.
So it's more like, like if anything, it's more like maybe ammunition or something. I'm selling
bullets,
it all around, and yeah. And you know, I'm gonna give these bullets to this organization over here, and I'm gonna just spread it out around here, and everybody follow that guy. His name's Trump. He's got the ammunition, and then I don't know if that's a good analogy, but like that's kind of the way I look at it. It's like it's not even the source, because the source is obviously you yourself. You're the voter, but they're gonna prey on, you know, your weaknesses, your fears, you know, and that's pretty much how it works. And that's the same way guns work too.
Because there's really no age limit on guns, because there's no regulation with gun, because the Second Amendment doesn't have an age limit. So it doesn't say what age you can have a gun or use a gun or fire a gun. So the NRA wants to ensure that you continue to buy guns. So the NRA says, let's give guns to the teachers so we'll be safer. So the solution with gun violence is to have more guns. So they win anyway, which is crazy to think, well, less guns will keep less gun violence because there's not a lot of guns. No. If the wrong person has a gun, you should have a gun to defend yourself. So all they doing is saying, let's mass produce more fucking guns.
Yeah. Well, see, to me, the whole gun thing, I kind of look at it as like I hate to put it this way, but almost like it's a fetish.
Yeah.
You know, like not maybe that's an extreme way of looking at it, but like
it's not.
They're dependent on it, you know, like they grew up on it. And it's like the way we look at cars. It's like, well, I need a car to get to work. You know what I mean? Like if I need to be protected, or if I'm afraid, I need my gun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, forget my fist, you know, forget the actual statistics that it's unlikely that anything's going to happen to you. you know. But I know obviously you need to protect yourself. But you know, gun is right there. Why don't just buy one? You know.
But they showed an analogy with the Midwest because I was looking at a program, and honestly, I understand, but that doesn't mean the whole nation is that way. What they showed was these people work out in the fields. You know, there's coyotes, there's snakes, there's different kind of animals that they defend themselves, or they do their own hunting because they're not close to a supermarket, so they have to have guns. And they say, I grew up with that, and my children, because they're going to be taking over the business, and we're farmers, and we already, so they it's a requirement to have guns and understand what to do with guns. But the guy that lives in Southwest Atlanta doesn't need to have, you know, AK-47s. He doesn't need to have long-range rifles, sniper rifles. That doesn't make any sense. But there has not been any regulation for it because the Second Amendment said you can bear arms. They didn't say what kind of arms. Okay. So they're taking advantage of that to say, as long as we keep producing anything that shoots a projectile, we can sell. And it'll be under the Second Amendment for allowing you to have it. But businesses are saying, you know what? I don't want to be associated with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the Dicks and the Walmarts and all of them said they're going to come after us sooner or later. And before they come at us, we can raise the limit to 21. That we can do that. But in these homes, these kids still have access to the parents who have it. Is it one thing? Yeah, that takes away a little something. Well, no more assault weapons. Yeah, but you can go to another store and buy it. But at least it's a start. I give them the respect. You had your own self-interest there, but that still helps. It makes people think that, look, it's not a problem. You can do it. Yeah. It's not. See what they just did? It is not a problem. People still can have guns. They just can't get it until they fucking 21. Or you can't have an assault weapon unless you fucking going to war. It shouldn't be out in the street.
Right. I mean, yeah, you only have tanks in the fucking military. That's a good point. Like you know what? Like one of my favorite games is Grand Theft Auto, and what you can do is in the video game you go into the military base and steal a jet and just fly around.
Oh my god.
And it's just fun to fly around because it's like one of the fastest vehicles in the game. So I'm like, in real life, it would be great to have a fucking F-14, one of them bitches just in the driveway. But I just
still wouldn't have a chance.
Hey, what purpose would I have? Yeah, and it's just, and if I was crazy, I would cause a lot of destruction. So I get why only certain personnel have access to it.
It just, but again, that's why I'm saying you backed away from the fetish thing, but it's an obsession, which in a sense is a fetish. It's an obsession with weapons. So I can have a weapon so I can cause mass destruction or destruction. So some people got hammers, some people got axes. They have a large stick. Some people said, I don't need all that. I can have a weapon that shoots off 40 bullets per minute, and I got an automatic or a semi-automatic.
I love that
How
shit.
cool is that? How fucking cool is that? No, that's not cool, bitch. That's crazy.
You know what? So when I lived in Maryland, I had a neighbor that was a couple houses down. You know, we just moved in. You meet your neighbors, you know, or at least they came to us. They wanted to say what's up. And they invited us in, you know, a white couple. The husband was in the military, and he wanted to show me around, and, you know, his place. Like, yeah, man, you know, check out my TV. I got this 60-inch. And I'm like, yeah, all right, you know, cool. You know, and he goes up, we go upstairs, and he shows me his he's got like all these guns, right? Like just everything. Like I don't even know guns, so I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Like I don't know what they are, but I've seen them in movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I picked them up.
Bad.
I picked them up in GoldenEye. You know what I'm saying? In 007. You know, But he's the kind of dude that even had like a grenade, you know, because he's in the military. So I guess he just kind of picked some of this shit up, stacked up like cases. Huh? What's up?
Wait, you can have a grenade?
I don't know if it was real, bro. Like, but you could get them. But I mean, I'm assuming it was one of those, you know. I mean, I ain't try to pull nothing on, and you know, I don't know how them shits work.
I want to hear him get the hell up out of there.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck you doing with a grenade?
Yeah, it was like the long kind too. Not even like the Anyway, so he's he's holding it up. You know, he's like, yeah, hold this, man. Like,
no, motherfucker, no.
You know what I mean? And my wife's, you know, because you know the wife's over there talking, and then she's looking at me like, the fuck is going on? Like two totally different personalities in that moment, and that's when it hit me. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is like getting hard on.
Yeah.
Over these guns. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their own kind of like, some people love computers, some people love cars. They're all up in the cars in the driveway. You got people that love.
Some people in the yard. They love to fucking do their yard things, flowers.
Yeah. Some people like the drink. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, like people love a lot of shit. Some people love guns, and I think that's and then to add on top of that, you know, you got people like Fox News and NRA just like, hey, buy your guns. The guy's trying to take your guns. You got gun manufacturers just like, yeah, I'm not going to stop you. Come on, and then let's fight them because they're trying to take. Like it's just it's all adding up. Yeah, you know, like imagine if somebody was like, look, you're not going to be able to buy any more cars. We're getting rid of these cars because you got, you know, these accidents and shit, or we're going to get rid of this alcohol. You know, I'm buying up alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm stuck.
You know, my whiskey, I need that. What the fuck same shit. I'm not an alcoholic enough.
Like
you know, but you need to have it available.
Yeah,
I need to have it.
Just gotta have it. You know?
Yeah,
not an alcohol.
Not gonna take my alcohol away.
You know,
just gotta have it. You know,
you know that. That's actually an interesting scenario. I gotta marinate on what if the car companies couldn't produce cars anymore. Yeah. That'd be a black market. You just have some dude in the garage. Yo, I got that new shit.
I got that Mustang 69.
Motherfucker just
wheels. Four wheels.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah,
a V6
has a Boondoggle Deluxe. Yeah, V6 Boondoggle. It's a fucking Prius with
night
truck
vision
tires
on
and some shit on it.
You can only drive it at night.
Yeah. Or motherfucker builds the speed racer car, the Mach 5 in real
Jumping
life.
over buildings.
Night Rider.
Yeah. Yeah, Knight Rider in that bitch. Yeah, a Pontiac with Siri. Like, nigga, this is not Knight Rider.
Right. So, I mean, when you're looking at all of that and the position that we're in with, you know, where do we go? You know,
wait.
Go ahead.
Wait. The lawsuits.
So we'll be getting into that on our part 2 session of Repo, starting with the lawsuits, as you just said. But we'll be back. Tune in for our next session of Repo, Rethink Politics, on the Bougie Black Brother Network.